Some believe we are tethered to this body by nothing more than a thread of thought. But what if that thread could snap just for a moment? What if you could leave your body behind, drift through walls, float above the clouds, walk through dreams? This isn't science fiction. This is the strange and secretive world of astral projection. You're watching Gleaming Mysteries, and tonight, we're stepping beyond the physical into a realm where the body stays behind and only the soul travels on. We will be talking about astral projection. Some call it an out-of-body experience, but for those who've truly felt it, the words fall short. It is the chilling claim that one can slip free from flesh and bone and drift unseen through this world door into others, not in dreams, not in imagination, but in something far stranger. The so-called astral body, untethered and alive, an energy form, a shadow self, a phenomenon cloaked in mysticism, yet whispered in eerily similar tones by those who've never met, across time, across continents, ancient shamans, medieval mystics, modern minds, all describing the same impossible thing, that the body can remain, while something else travels on. The idea isn't new. In fact, it may be as old as human consciousness itself. The ancient Egyptians spoke of Ka, a vital essence, a kind of spiritual twin that could leave the body and roam freely. They believed it lived alongside the physical form, leaving during sleep or death to wander both this world and the next. Their entire burial tradition, in part, was to guide this double through the afterlife. Tombs were designed not just for corpses, but for Ka spirits to return to. In Hindu philosophy, the human being is layered body, mind, energy, and beyond. The astral body in Sanskrit texts is part of the subtle body, believed to survive physical death and travel independently, navigate the astral realms, and even return with knowledge not accessible in the waking world. Yogic masters, through deep meditation and breath control, have long claimed the ability to consciously exit the body. These are not metaphorical descriptions but detailed accounts, passed down through lineages for thousands of years. In medieval Europe, mystics and alchemists recorded tales of spirit walking, leaving the body during trances or visions, sometimes guided by angels, sometimes by darker forces. These experiences were not always welcomed. Many were burned for such claims, accused of witchcraft or heresy. Then, in the 19th century, the Theosophical Society emerged, blending Eastern mysticism with Western wisdom. They gave this ancient practice a new name: astral projection. Theosophers didn't just believe in it, they charted it. Like electricity under the skin, they drew diagrams of the astral plane, classified levels of consciousness, and described beings that existed beyond the veil. To them, the astral world wasn't symbolic, it was a destination, like a discarded shell. Let's move on to, what does it actually feel like to leave your body? Most people describe a strange vibrating sensation. Then comes the floating, sometimes gently, sometimes pulled like a magnet upward. Others use meditation, sound frequencies, or even sleep paralysis. Some report seeing their own body from above, lying still, peaceful. Then, movement. Through ceilings, through cities, through space, even into otherworldly realms where time seems different. There are hundreds of techniques to trigger astral projection. Some lie in bed and enter a state between waking and sleep. Others use meditation, sound frequencies, or even sleep paralysis. One of the most famous is the rope technique. Visualize a rope hanging above you. Now imagine your astral body, climbing it hand over hand. You don't move your real body, just your mind. When done right, people say they suddenly find themselves free. From a scientific standpoint, astral projection can often be traced back to the quirks and glitches of the human brain rather than a literal journey of the soul. Neuroscientists point to the temporo-parietal junction, a crossroads in your cortex where signals about touch, vision, balance, and body location converge. When this region is disrupted by extreme stress, sensory deprivation, or electrical stimulation, it can produce vivid illusions of leaving your body. You feel yourself floating, tilting, or hovering just above the ground. Sleep paralysis is another familiar doorway. As your mind drifts between wakefulness and sleep, your muscles remain locked in REM, while your consciousness flickers awake. In that limbo, it's easy to misinterpret internal imagery, shadowy figures at the foot of your bed, the pressure of an unseen weight as proof of an astral visitor, or the traveler yourself. Lucid dreaming adds another layer. Imagine realizing in a dream that you're dreaming and then willfully soaring above rooftops, diving into oceans, or slipping through walls. The sensations mirror those reported in astral projection, boundless freedom, a disembodied point of view, encounters with dreamlike landscapes. Even near-death experiences, when the brain is starved of oxygen, can trigger surges of endorphins and electrical activity that simulate the classic tunnel of light. Yet, here's the haunting part. Despite these very different triggers, so many people describe the same basic storyline: vibrations, separation, flight, a return through a silver cord, or sudden jolt. If it's all just a trick of neurons and neurotransmitters, why does the playbook stay the same across cultures, ages, and belief systems? Furthermore, in the astral world, not everything is peaceful. While some describe it as a realm of light, vast, serene, and full of wonder, others tell very different stories. Some claim to have encountered guides, entities that appear human or angelic, offering protection, wisdom, or direction. Others speak of deceased relatives, their presence familiar and comforting, as if they were waiting on the other side of something unseen. But then, there are the darker encounters. Accounts emerge of shadowy figures, often lurking at the edges of perception, watching, not moving, not speaking. Some report being chased, pulled, or blocked by forces they could not see, only sense. These beings are sometimes called parasites or astral predators by those who believe the astral plane is layered, some parts higher, luminous. There are even reports of non-human entities, intelligences that feel cold, ancient, and indifferent to human presence. And then there are the places, vast shifting landscapes that make no earthly sense, cities of impossible geometry, forests that seem to breathe, corridors that stretch forever. Travelers speak of entering areas that suddenly feel wrong, places filled with an overwhelming sense of dread, as if trespassing where they shouldn't. What are these experiences? Are they projections of inner fear, shaped by the subconscious like dreams? Or are they real encounters in a world we barely understand, one where intention shapes the environment, and where your own energy determines what you attract? But most who return agree on one thing: the astral world is not empty. Something, or some things, are out there. Another important question that arises is, can you get lost out there? Can something else find its way in while you're gone? Myths, folklore, and horror stories whisper of exactly that. Of souls that wandered too far, of vacant bodies that didn't stay vacant. But ask those who practice astral projection regularly, and they'll tell you there's nothing to fear. They speak of a tether, an unbreakable silver cord that connects the astral self to the physical body. A lifeline of energy, impossible to sever, pulling you home the moment your journey ends. And yet, questions linger. So, what is astral projection really? Is it just wishful thinking? A comforting illusion for those afraid of death? Is it a neurological glitch? A misfire in the brain during sleep or trauma? Or is it something else entirely, a sliver of truth? A glitch not in the brain, but in reality itself. Astral projection challenges the most fundamental belief we hold, that we are confined to this flesh, to this form. But what if we're not? What if consciousness is not caged within bone and blood? What if the soul has always had wings, and this practice, this ancient ritual of separation is an escape, but a remembering, a return to something we once knew? Snap back. Your body jolts. Your eyes open. You're awake, but the feeling lingers, like ashes from a dream that burned too brightly to forget. You've been watching Gleaming Mysteries. If this journey into the unknown stirred something in you, like, subscribe, and join us next time when we search the shadows for answers the daylight forgot.